Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Halo 5 Guardians. 8 protagonists and a split campaign where Chief is hunted is the pitch for Halo 5. Also, it has a subtitle now. Does this gamble pay off? Let's find out. Halo 5 Guardians is a Halo first-person shooter, which if you've been watching these reviews, you're probably sick of hearing me say, but I'm going to say it again. And for this review, I'm focusing again on the single player, but I think it should mention that the multiplayer is very good and still has a reasonably active community. Cortana has gone goblin mode, and Chief ain't having it, so he and a crew of 3 other Spartans are out to try and fix that up before he singularities the universe's AIs and enslaves all organic races. On the flip side, the actual main character of the game, Locke, and his group of Spartans are trying to hunt Chief down as he's considered a renegade and dangerous. As you can guess from that description, Halo 5's campaign has 2 big tweaks. It was designed for 4-player co-op, and you actually spend most of your time as Locke, not Chief. The co-op aspect means you'll always have 3 buddies with you, with the AI subbing in if you don't have real friends, and it means the game has co-op specific mechanics now as well. On death, you can be picked up rather than die and have to respawn, for instance, and many of the game's bosses are designed around your squad drawing attention so others can hit its weak points, which works great with humans and not as much with the AI. The other change is in the story, where the split duty allows you to see the UNSC from 2 different perspectives. It's an interesting premise, one that sadly is never really fleshed out, but allows for campaign diversity as you bounce between the 2 groups. The main issue I had is I found Chief's story to be much more interesting than Locke's, and this game really likes to have bait and switch cliffhangers right before switching the characters that never pay off. There's also a lot more exposition this time, with some missions just being walking around an area listening to people talk. And while I like the Halo lore, that isn't a mission, that is a cutscene. Thankfully, there's still plenty of decent Halo shooting and bombastic set pieces here, though less than the other Halo games. You'll save a city under siege, fight some absolutely giant Promethean war machines, and more. Yes, the Prometheans are back, and between them and the Covenant, you'll be tested yet again in your Halo shooty skills. And honestly, I don't really have a ton more to say about Halo 5. Its multiplayer is great, but its campaign feels like an attempt to do too many new things at once. There's things I like and things I don't like about it, so let's just jump right into that. So what did I like about Halo 5 Guardians? Well, the 4-player co-op with unique characters is pretty great. As somebody who always plays Halo co-op, it was nice to see this game was designed around that experience, with things like being able to be revived, etc. The lack of local co-op does suck a big one though. Additionally, the action-oriented missions are generally pretty decent. While I didn't think any were on par with any of the previous games, they were still fun to play through. And lastly, this is a single-player review, but the multiplayer is good. I figure I needed to mention it because people still like it. I found it to be pretty decent. I really liked Warzone's 12v12, so there is that. When it comes to the bad, this campaign's pacing is terrible, with some missions being just walking around open areas listening to exposition, and a good first half of the campaign feeling just like setup that doesn't actually pay off. Additionally, that split story concept doesn't really work, and doesn't follow up or pay off the open threads in 4 in any meaningful way. If anything, I was left more annoyed at the Halo universe than intrigued. And lastly, the weapons didn't really gel with me this time around. Similar to Halo 4, the Promethean ones feel a little redundant and kind of meh, and the shooting overall feels like a weird mix of Halo and modern COD that never really gels well together. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale. Must play, maybe consider, don't bother. So I'll keep saying it, the multiplayer is pretty good, and I'm going to give Halo 5 that, but the campaign is an incredible letdown from pretty much every angle for me. The Prometheans remain incredibly boring to fight, the new weapons are dull, the campaign's pacing is somehow both incredibly slow and too brisk, bogged down with its exposition, and with a few exceptions, missions are just passable. This really feels like the low point for the franchise, particularly making Cortana a villain seemingly out of nowhere, and it's only exacerbated by the fact that none of this is resolved in a satisfying way in Infinite. We will get to that later, but for now, if you are looking for a good Halo campaign, maybe pass on Halo 5. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. What did you think about Halo 5? Am I completely off the mark here? Or am I right and this is 343's low point? Please let me know in the comments, but regardless, go out there and maybe just skip Halo 5.